I know my content coming out for Kingdoms has not been as frequent as previous days, weeks, months. I would credit this to a couple of things. One is my interest in things. It sort of peaks and wanes. Yeah, it's a roller coaster, you could say. If I'm really inspired by something at the moment, I'm more inclined to make videos about it. But then I play it for a couple months and it starts to get boring again. Really, Stronghold is one of the better games. I really haven't seen anything else quite like it. The politics involved, it keeps the game from getting stagnant quite a lot of the time. And that is something that is just not replicated in most other games. Sure, there is an element of teamwork, of camaraderie, working to a common end, but the backstabbing level of politics is something that I find particularly unique to Stronghold Kingdoms. And I would say it's one of the things that keeps me playing it for a lot of the time. Well, anyway, like I said, I haven't been producing as much content because the game is kind of boring me at the moment. And it's not any one thing, any one player, or anything like that. It just gets tiring after a while, and there are individuals. There is an attitude that contributes to my exhaustion with this game. Number one being a lack of communication, like I've said before, which might strike you as ironic because I am not the kind of person who wears their heart on their sleeve, you could say. I consider myself rather enigmatic. I mean, people probably find it a little strange that while I do quite a few YouTube videos, whenever I'm on TeamSpeak, for the most part, I don't actually say anything. I converse through chat. And there are a couple of reasons for this. Number one, in the past, my air conditioner, which happens to be right next to me, is on a lot of the time, and I don't want to impose that on other people to hear that. It's just another thing is I like to think out my answers before I actually say them, which is much easier to do when you're conversing through text as opposed to conversing through voice. I'm not a very spontaneous sort of person. I like to deliberate a bit on things before, reaching, I want to say a verdict, but that's something that you can improve with practice, and it is something that I work on. I try to, at least. I think doing YouTube videos, for example, is a great way to sort of spontaneously espouse, would espouse be the word, your thoughts in sort of a real-time stream of consciousness. Well, the final reason, it's multifaceted. Maybe I just like being unique, There's that special snowflake status that everybody wants to claim at one time or another. It's like my calling card. I'm just that guy who talks all the time on YouTube but then doesn't say anything on TeamSpeak, and it keeps you memorable. But at the same time, it comes down to my unwillingness to commit, you could say. I mean, developing what you'd call interpersonal relationships, cultivating them, it takes time. And that, I personally find it difficult to, multitask, both talking to somebody in a constructive manner while playing a game at the same time. I mean, that's just me. So if somebody's on TeamSpeak and they want to talk to me, it pretty much forces me to stop playing the game, to stop working on video production, whatever I'm doing at the moment. It forces that to a stop so I can concentrate in the conversation. And I find it difficult. And then there's also the element that since I'm not doing anything, I'm essentially spending all my time talking to this one person or multiple people. And again, that sort of plays into my personality type. It is something of a weakness, but I don't do well in conversations with two or more people. I prefer it to be one-on-one so I can concentrate on what one is saying, and you concentrate on what one person's saying, you can better build an argument against them if you're debating them, or really tailor what you're saying to that individual audience. I mean, I feel a little bit like the mirror in what that one movie, was it a Tom Cruise movie, Mission Impossible, where it's trying to focus on two individuals that are walking down the hall to maintain the illusion that there is nothing in the hall, because the mirror exists there to supply illusion, to make whoever is coming down the hall believe, or looking down the hall, believe that the hall is not blocked. So when two individuals enter the hall, all of a sudden the mirror is trying to focus on from one individual to another. It's using the face recognition technology. It moves from one to the other. Which one do I focus on? And I feel a little bit like that when I'm talking with more than one person, which is why I try to keep communications to a minimum. And then, like I said, there is the element of interpersonal relationships require a certain level of commitment, and for the most part, I am unwilling to make that commitment. I have no problem with sort of being friends with people, but a lot of times I think that I owe them things that I don't believe I do, simply by knowing me, So I hope that brings you up to date with basically how I'm doing in the world. There's really nothing more to say about it. Thanks for watching.